guys, Gene here with G Squared Tactical. Today we're taking a look at another Stoeger. Stoeger was so gracious to send us a couple of pistols, the STR-9 Combat and this STR-9 MC. This is item number 31768. Have no clue what that means, but that's what we are looking at today. It comes with two 10-round mags. I am to understand you can get these in 13 round. And I'm sure you could probably get it for this one too if you can find them, which you will not find them, and they will be about 50 bucks. As you can see, we have the 10 rounder here with the extended base plate so that you can get a better grip. It does feel way better in the hand than with the flush fitting magazine, but if you want more concealability, then you have that available here. I've got some rabid squirrels in the background. Not totally sure what's going on there. If I get attacked, I'll be sure to put that up. But anyway, so get back to the gun. We got two 10-round mags, one flush fitting, one with an extended grip base plate on there. On the sides and on the front, we do have nice stippling, not overbearing, not overly aggressive. Does not seem to snag on clothing. As you guys know, if I have, it will pull the fiber off though, but as you guys know, if I have a gun that is very, very aggressive in the stippling of the grip and it catches on my clothes, I will not carry that firearm. And they seem to have gotten away from the needle point aggressive backstrap grips on this one versus the other offerings they have. This looks more identical to what you would see on the back of a Glock backstrap, but overall very well done in the grip. Feels better in my hand than the Glock does because, again, some of it has to do with that ridiculous cant that you find on a Glock that they have done away with here. So you do have this ledge on each side, one for the lefty, one for the righty. It's not really cut away so much as it's just a ledge here that allows you to rest your thumb on. I like it. Nicely done. The mag release, as you know, if you've watched the channel very often, I am a little bit of a snob about having to adjust my grip to release my magazine. I do have to adjust my grip a little bit, but I don't have to fully come around like this. You know, I can keep my hand relatively in the same place. So, you know, it's nicely done on the mag release. It's not extended. It seems to be flush with that ledge there, but they managed to pull it off to where I really don't have to adjust my grip very much, and I do like that. Nicely undercut under the trigger, just like on the other ones, under the trigger guard here at the back. It is a more rounded off trigger guard versus a squared one, but there is plenty of space in there if you were shooting with gloves or what have you. And it is serrated on the front of the trigger guard here. Another nice feature is it does have a single slot pick rail here for your light lasers. A lot of micro compacts do not have those. Has these very nice memory pads here on each side that my thumb just naturally hits there, and you can really feel it and push your gun over if you're a lefty or righty. It is on both sides. Nothing about this gun is ambidextrous. However, you can swap the mag release to the other side for the lefties, like Trey Ballard. Anyway, so the slide stop here, it is very flush to the frame. I know some people like tactical slide stops that stick off a little bit, but for me and the way I grip and shoot, every time I have a gun that has a slide release or slide lock that sticks off the frame, I end up locking it back inadvertently, which makes the gun uncarryable, unusable for me for anything other than a range toy. Coming up to the top here, we do have front and rear slide serrations. They are very functional, very usable. They are deep and they are canted forward, unlike on the it seems like on the Glock pistols they didn't put much thought into it, just straight up and down. They're not super deep. They are functional, but I like it, the look overall of the canted serrations on the front and the rear, and these are very deep serrations on the front and on the rear. We have a fully adjustable rear sight for windage and elevation. We have a single white dot on the front that can be adjusted for windage. not plastic gawky sights like what you see on a Glock. We do have a peep witness hole, whatever you want to call it, up here, loaded chamber indicator to look down in and see if you can see brass. It's okay on this one because it's not optic ready, so we will not be projectile vomiting.
It rolled down.
GSR and oil all over our optic. On ones that are optic ready, they really need to fix that. But overall, really nicely done. We have had this at the range, other than having a few problems loading the magazines, which you'll be able to see on the range video. I don't know, I do believe that someone else, like, there's no way, there's literally no way, and we've had to do this from the 4th round. We have to take the speed loader here and literally you have to shove it down like this right here, and you see how but when it comes out, it does something to the spring and you're able to get another round in there. Kind of tell us what your thoughts on that. But these magazines were not easy to load. I don't know if maybe I think this gun was reviewed by someone else, maybe several someone else's before we got it, so I don't know if maybe they did something. I'm not really sure, but we had a lot of trouble loading these magazines at the range. You kind of tell us what your thoughts are on that. As far as the trigger is concerned, this trigger came in somewhere around 4 1/4, a little bit lighter than the Glock trigger. It does have a more flat face trigger. It is serrated on the front than what you see on the Glock. It has a little bit of take up after you seemingly hit a wall. It does have a little bit of creep, a little mushiness, if you will, but it's kind of predictable. It's kind of a predictable break. Sounds and feels just like a Glock trigger when it does break. And the reset is not as loud as a Glock trigger, but it is tactile. You can feel it pushing back on your finger. One thing that I like is the 2-piece fully enclosed guide rod, recoil spring, whatever you're calling it, and it is stainless steel, as you can see clearly from the front there. It is a nice guide rod. It's not plastic like you see on some of the older versions of Glock pistols. Anyway, I would say this was probably modeled after the Glock 48. It has a 4.17-inch barrel like the Glock 48. Overall length is 6.1, and it weighs in about 18.5 ounces. So anyway, in the box, like I said, you got a cardboard box. Did come with a speed loader, a lock, and an owner's manual with the 2 mags, of course. I know this was kind of short, didn't really say much, messed up some of my wording, apologize for that, but we kind of try to get these things up, these tabletops up in front of the range reviews, so that you guys can kind of see what our thoughts about it are on the table. So that's what we're trying to do here today. Don't know if I mentioned this little protrusion here in the front of the grip. That's quote unquote finger groove. A lot of times when Glock done that in years past, they never fit. I think the reason this one does is because it has this nice undercut under the trigger guard here, which allows my fingers to fall right in that groove. It's not uncomfortable or gawky like you would have seen on some of the Gen 3, Gen 4 model Glocks. It feels very nice in the hand, holds very natural. And again, with it getting rid of that Glock cant, it seems to shoot, for me anyway, more accurately, because I've never really been able to shoot a Glock pistol. Just as a comparison, I mean, good grief, do you see the cant on that grip there? I just wish that, you know, Glock would get rid of that, but because of that, can't really use Glock magazines, which kind of stinks. But because they are widely available. But anyway, a Glock clone, not so much. That's kind of better in my opinion, but that is just my opinion. Make sure you go over and check out the range video. Hopefully we'll have it up. Make sure you hit the subscribe button, hit that thumbs up, let your friends and family know where they can find a good, true blue-collar review on all of your Stoeger pistols and even more. Thanks for watching again today, guys.